for us to take a system that is wrong, this Hamiltonian system, impose it on a country, and then when they resist, respond with violence. This is all wrong. It doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to do it that way. If we take apart our Hamiltonian system, what will be left is the Jeffersonian system, which is the correct system, which is rooted in natural law. The Hamiltonian system is not. It's in positive law. So in positive law, you can do whatever you want, whatever you can get away with, that's yours. So if we get rid of positivism, if we go back to laws based in natural law, then we would not have these massive businesses. We would have large businesses that compete by lowering the price. That would happen, but not these massive predatory businesses that have right behind them the military, well, the spies and the troublemakers, and then behind them, if that all fails, the military. No, we wouldn't have all that. We wouldn't have a lot of things. We have a system where you have a clever fellow, who innovates in the area of computer software. His business begins to grow rather rapidly. The growth of his business has to do with the growth of government. In the United States, starting in the 70s, our government began growing exponentially. Well, government workers generally don't do anything. So when the government grows, you got more people generally not doing anything. So what are you going to do with these people all day long? Well, every person that gets hired in government has handed a copy of software, various softwares. Well, you track the sales in the largest software company, you track the sales or the growth of government, and they're both growing at exactly the same rate. Why? Because governments buy that software, they pay all the licensing fees, they always upgrade, and then the computers as well. So now as the size of government is leveling off, guess what? Those businesses are leveling off as well. Now, that business is going very rapidly because they had an offer. They said, our operating system software was $125 a copy. But if you put this system software on every computer you make, then it'll be $9 a copy. Well, so the computer makers throw this operating system, what makes the computer work and work with all the software, throw it on every copy they make. Well, every copy they make, this, of course, every computer that got sold grew this business called Microsoft, I believe it's called, made this business grow rather rapidly. And other computer companies said, oh, they've got a monopoly, we've got to do something. So under the Clinton administration, they began to review this system and file lawsuits, the Justice Department. So at about, I think it was 1994, there's this consent decree that said Microsoft will not ever do that again. They'll change all their marketing systems, so the means that they used to become huge and the means by which Bill Gates became a billionaire, nobody can do that anymore. Well, that's nice. So after becoming the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the government and Bill Gates gets together and slams the door so that nobody can get rich, nobody can get powerful the way that Bill Gates did. So now he's got it all locked in. It's a wonderful system, having big business and big government working together. So, no, this is all nonsense that Microsoft is monopoly. I've been all Macintosh all the time since 1984. There's a world without Microsoft if you want it. But nonetheless, it is an 800-pound gorilla in the room, as they say. Now, Bill Gates gets bored with Microsoft. It's not really a competitive thing. It's just a huge business. But he's got all this money. He's got, he's going to lose it if he doesn't do something with it. So what the very wealthy can do in America, which is again contrary to natural law, they can put all their money in a charity, 503c1 or whatever it's called, but at any rate. So he's got $29 billion or whatever, so it's sitting in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And they give money away. Wonderful thing to do. Now, this money to give away, they have to, I think by law, give away about 5%. So they make 6, 8, 10% on the money that's in there, and they give away 5%. So the thing keeps growing and growing. And where do they give the money away to? Well, they give it to political think tanks that say, oh, we need gun control. They give it to political think tanks that say, oh, the Republicans are very good people and do these wonderful things, so we should support these policies. Or they give it away and say, Democrats are doing this wonderful thing. So they use the money to support systems, support ideas that support them. They also give money away to getting rid of diseases and whatever else. But there's a better way to do that, of course, is small business free markets. But set that aside, let somebody else argue those cases. Now, this money that gets given away, so what happens is the Gates are able to use the federal government to protect their money, their systems, because not only do they have it in the law, the Justice Department is watching people that are working with their money and all that. Lots of protection, lots of cooperation. Very many people are organizing themselves around getting money out of the Gates Foundation. And they, of course, they model themselves so they make sure that they will get a grant. So you have all these people out there in grants doing whatever Bill Gates wants to do. So then you have the elder Gates, his father, named Bill Gates as well, promoting all sorts of wonderful causes, such as the death tax. So then you get an interesting thing where you got another wealthy fellow, the Blevins, who run the Seattle Times, and the Gates going head to head, even though the Gates is Blevins' lawyers. But I got into a three-way conversation regarding the death tax. Now, the death tax harms small businesses. Somebody builds a small business, they get to it, its value becomes to $5 million, $10 million. Well, above $2 million, I believe it is, you got to give 50% of the value to the government when you die, when the owner of the business dies. Well, there's all sorts of ways of working around that. You can buy $10 million worth of life insurance, and then when the owner or proprietor dies, you can use the life insurance to pay off the government taxes. Well, bottom line is, even without the whatever the strategies are, this kills small businesses. The tax burden on the death tax is too much for the small businesses. Now, the Seattle Times does not make any money off the huge national ads. The want ads are getting killed by the online want ad companies, eBay and the other one. But at any rate, where the newspapers make their money is small business, medium-sized business advertising. That's where the money is. Those businesses are dying out because they can't pay the death tax. So the newspapers themselves are dying out. That's what's killing the newspapers, not the internet. It's lack of revenue, lack of money, because the small businesses are getting killed off. Now, this Gates Foundation has billions of dollars that they invest. Well, guess what they're investing in? They're buying up dying newspapers. So they're going to have control of the newspapers over time. It's a fabulous system if you can get it yourself. Now, so you have this concentration of power with a few families supporting all of the thinking that gets distributed. In the Soviet Union, you wrote something that the officials didn't like, or off to the gulags. In the United States, you can write anything you want, anytime you want. It's just not going to get published. Just no one's going to read it.
Down in Mississippi, brothers in jail, uneducated children. It's the 21st century. It feels like it's 1960.